Hello, hello, my friends, and welcome here to round number 10 at GP Barcelona. You're in the booth with Riley Knight, and alongside me it is the Pro Tour Hall of Famer, Rafael Levy, and a great pleasure to have your company for the first time today. We are getting underway with our 10th round, as I said, and on your screen, Kazuma Matsumoto is undefeated alongside Lewis Snazzle, and these guys are, Raf, interesting matchup here with the Mardu Ballista deck on the right, facing off against Timo Tower. This is a deck we haven't seen a huge amount of.
Oh, we've seen some of it yesterday. But yeah, it hasn't been like performing as well as the Mardu decks, for example.
No, I mean, we've seen the Timor lists, a few different approaches to it. You know, these Etherwork Marvel decks, the Dynavolt Tower lists, that sort of thing flying around. Certainly not the level of just utter dominance like what's enjoyed by these Mardu decks, as we see Lewis Snazzle really getting off to a flyer here. Thraben Inspector into Heart of Kieran. That's where you want to be on turn number 2.
So this is the story of day one, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Mardu deck on the play, putting in like a huge amount of pressure on the receiving Timur deck.
Yeah.
And the Timur deck is battling to get his mana right and his strategy in place. Put his strategy in place. And if it stumbles, then it's pretty hard for him to come back. So look here, Kazuma is missing green, so he's probably going to anticipate to find the green source, to play the Attune, or play the tower first and then the Attune, while Lewis is just putting a lot of stuff on the board.
Yeah, developing things very nicely here, Lewis Snazzle, as we see this anticipate, as you mentioned, Raf. Matsumoto is in a tricky position already, as you say, under a lot of pressure from a very early spot. So he's going to have to put things together here. Now, Snazzle there choosing to play the Scrap Heap Scrounger after combat and not attack with the Heart of Kieran.
I'm not sure why, because Kazuma could not have killed the Heart of Kieran with
Harness Lightning. Nothing's going to get it done, no.
So I'm not sure why here.
Confusing line there from Snazzle. We'll see exactly what's going on there as this game continues. Matsumoto does have a Dynavolt Tower in hand, and now it's on the battlefield. So he's off to the races with the sort of centerpiece card of his deck there, Raf. Back to Snazzle now.
There's an interesting line from the Timur deck. Like, he didn't have the green mana on turn 1, but he had the tower. So there's a line where you don't actually play the Attune with Ether on turn 1. You wait till you have the tower in play, and you play it later, just to get the extra 2 energy.
To get a bit of extra value. Well, as it is now, Matsumoto looking to stem the bleeding here, as Snazzle really gets amongst it and starts chucking creatures at Matsumoto's face. His mana is developing nicely, which is a good thing for him, but he's going to have to find something here to, again, fend off these creatures. 4 mana left up with the Dynavolt Tower, with no energy in his reserve as far as I can see there, Raf.
No, not yet.
Snazzle now.
I'm really wondering why he didn't attack with the heart on turn 3. Because he would have put Kazuma on 6, and then it would have been much easier for him to finish him off.
Matsumoto now half of his life total gone to the dogs. And we're going to see another attack now.
Yes,
again, not presenting that Heart of Kieran.
I can see why here.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want Kazuma to harness lighting it.
So Shielded Ether Thief comes down. He's going to block one of the Scroungers here, and the other one's going to eat a Harness Lightning. So Matsumoto gains a bunch of energy, as you see there, gaining 2 from the tower, spending 2 on the Scrounger, and gaining a further 3 from the Harness Lightning, explaining exactly that situation here to Snazzle. And across comes the Thraben Inspector. She's still poking in there. Snazzle now, 4 mana. Are we going to see Gideon? Yes, we are. So the problems keep piling up here for Matsumoto.
Snazzle had Unlicensed Disintegration. Like, he could have killed the
Ether Thief before blocks?
Yeah, the Thief before blocks. And there'd have been 6 extra damage instead of playing Gideon. I don't know what line was better. It feels like killing the thief was a little better.
Matsumoto now.
Especially
Looks like he's
since
going to attune with Ether.
Especially since the Thief is still around.
And the Thief's going to be able to do some good work blocking. A 0-4, very useful against this opposing board. Although there is, of course, let's not forget there's Gideon there. There's the Heart of Kieran here. Matsumoto has his work cut out for him. He fetches out a Forest with the attune with Ether. And that Dynavolt Tower, Ralph, is now online.
The other line was, what could have been to play Gideon and activate the Heart of Kieran right away, but then he would have been vulnerable to a tower activation.
Yeah, the tower can start chucking lightning bolts around, and at the moment the ally of Zendikar can survive at least one hit from the tower here. You'd have to say Snutzel in a very firmly commanding position in this game.
Yes. Yes, he has a lot of threats, and Kazuma does not really have... He has another Harness Lightning in hand, but that's a lot of threats.
No, it's just 2 lands as well as the Harness Lightning in hand for Matsumoto, so the gas is kind of beginning to run out for him here. Can Snutzel put the final finishing touches on this game?
So he can plus Gideon, minus it to activate the heart and attack with everything, and probably kill the Thief as well. Yeah.
Unlicensed Disintegration now, as you mentioned before, the card that was threatening to do some work to clear out the way of this blocker.
It's going to be hard here. Maybe that's a better line to play this turn, that live for another turn, like not killing in last turn.
Enables the attack with the Gideon.
Yep, and the token.
Matsumoto considering his options. Glimmer of Genius in hand in addition to this Harness Lightning.
Yeah, Glimmer is not going to do much here.
The Thief is going to draw a card, however. Yep, so 3 energy. Bargain price. Bargain basement prices here for a card. Tap, pay 3 energy and draw a Forest. Ugh, okay.
Yeah, that's... It's going to be way too much damage here.
Yeah, there's no way out for it for Matsumoto here. He has Glimmer of Genius, which taps him out. He's got a Harness Lightning, which can kill 1 creature. But at this point, all Snutzel needs to do is turn those creatures sideways, and he's in there.
Yeah. What was the card that could have saved him? The 1 blue and 3 bounce all attacking creatures.
Oh, Aetherize.
Aetherize, yes. Oh, well, that's the... Is that the theme?
Yeah, that's the theme. A perfect flavor fit there. As we see now, Snutzel, get ready, send them all in, including the Heart of Kieran, crewed up by Gideon. Gideon's doing a bit of double dipping here, and Matsumoto recognizes that is that. So again, a strong start from the Mardu player meant that his opponent was really unable to keep his head above water. And Ralph Levy, after these players have hit their sideboards, it'll be interesting to see how things go when the Mardu player's on the draw.
Yeah, we've seen this. The Mardu player on the play, it's hard to stop.
It's really, really hard to stop in many cases, especially when they curve out so nicely, just as Lewis Snutzel did there. A real excellent example of just what the Mardu deck looks like when it hits its straps. But Matsumoto, now he knows what he has to do. He has to find a way to make sure he gets to the point where he can start using things like his Dynavolt Tower to overtake the game. Let's have a look at table number 2 now. Mikhail Lipinski playing us off against Paolo Pinto, and it is the Mardu mirror match. We have seen a lot of these Mardu decks at the top of the tables throughout this weekend, and you can imagine they'll be making a strong late run at day number 2 into the top 8. Lipinski with a walking ballista that's going to get eaten up by a fatal push. Paolo Pinto with no interest in having that artifact stick around. And as I cast my eyes over these deck lists here, a couple of interesting distinctions to be made between them. Lipinski opting to play Pia Nala and 2 copies of Thalia as well. Looks like Paolo Pinto doesn't have any copies of Pia Nala, as we see Heart of Kieran come down, but has gone in on 2 copies of Archangel Avacyn here, in addition to the 4 copies of Gideon. So some pretty hard-hitting stuff towards the top end of Paolo Pinto's deck.
Which probably makes a big difference.
Aethersphere Harvester, 3 copies of those in his deck as well. So that's sort of where we're drawing the line here.
Yeah, after board, having the Harvester is just not as good as having Avacyn. Mostly because of Release the Gremlins. Yeah,
Release the Gremlins. It's just we've seen some absolutely huge swings in the in the last in the closing rounds of day number one yesterday, where all of a sudden, facing down a huge board from Mardu vehicles, all of a sudden one released the Gremlins later, and that was it. Completely turns the game around in many cases. So you're right in saying that, Raf. The Archangel is less of a liability, certainly, against these artifact removal spells. Lipinski now. Looks like we are going to see a release the Gremlins. Yes, indeed, there it is. So a little bit of a Viridian Shaman here as a 2/2 comes down to replace that Heart of Kirin.
I was told Medic Vandal was the red.
Oh, that's right.
Viridian Shaman.
Yeah.
But the original guy is the Octabi Orangutan.
And that's a really nice little sequence here for Lipinski as he sends in the Aethersphere Harvester crewed up by that Gremlin. A huge flavor violation there. We'll get a flavor judge to see to that before too much longer. But as it is, that's a really tight little turn there.
Would you get a flavor fine?
You can get a flavor warning.
Okay.
A flavor rule violation, an FRV, sorry. And obviously too many flavor violations, and you're going to start seeing yourself in front of the flavor tribunal. But I think Lipinski's going to get away from this. He's got a good record so far. Unlicensed Disintegration, the draw for him. Is that a Painful Truth in hand? Oh, mate, I'm loving it.
So how good is Painful Truth in the mirror?
I think terrible, but I just love the card. No, look, I mean, I shouldn't be so dismissive there. I think obviously there's a reason this card's been brought in post-board. We do see, these decks adopt more of a reactive posture after sideboarding. So maybe refueling with a card like Painful Truth, especially if you're supporting your life total with Aethersphere Harvester.
Yeah. So take 4 damage to draw 3 cards.
That's a good price.
He could have used the energy from the Aether Hub to not lose 1 life, but then he can use the energy to gain 3 life with the Harvester.
The Harvester, yeah.
So
that's
it's better to take damage from the tower.
So we're going to see the Harvester get in here and pay 1 energy, gain a few more life points here. As Pinto looking at a pretty empty board, just the Oath of Liliana for him. And Lipinski's developed things nicely. So the Painful Truths there. Never going to knock that card. All about it. Remember a few years ago when Chapin was playing it in Legacy. Really hoping that would take off. And now Pinto. You can see Archangel Avacyn in his hand there.
Avacyn, Gideon, and Oath of Chandra.
Jeez, that's not a bad one. Not a bad way to set some things up here. How are you playing this out?
I'm not sure. Because Michal has a lot of cards in hand.
Yeah, both players sitting on 4 cards in hand at the moment. Walking Ballista in the hand of Lipinski as well. And as this game seems to be slowing down a little bit, we may come and check in on it at a later stage. But it's time to head back to table number 1 here. Kazuma Matsumoto on Timo Tower versus Lewis Snutzel on Mardu Ballista here. We saw Snutzel take out the first game. And once again, look at this Raphael Levy, the 1-2 punch. He is off to a good start, curving out nicely with Matsumoto. However, Shielded Ether Thief. There we go. So that's a good turn 2 play from him. Going to slow things down just a little bit for the Japanese player here as he looks to right the wrongs of game number 1 and get himself on the scoreboard. Well, a Virtuoso at the draw. Things looking a little bit better for the Team of Tower player here.
Yeah, much better here. So he can cash the 3 energy from the Virtuoso to draw a card, which will probably give him more energy later on.
Well, based on the way things could play out here, the Shielded Ether Thief could gain an energy from blocking, which would also enable a Thopter to be made from the Whirl of Virtuoso, in addition to that card being drawn. Snutzel with an interesting decision, but he just turns him sideways, Raph. I know you're going to be a big fan of this play.
No, I'm not really a big fan of that play. He needs to put damage. He needs to...
as a matter of principle, you have to be, surely.
Yeah. I guess he already had 5, so he could draw already. But
so now...
still that's...
We see a second Scrap Heap Scrounger. Oh, and no 3rd land for Snutzel. That's going to be very important moving forward.
So yeah, he had to go for it. He had to attack.
Yeah.
But this is pretty much a show off. Yeah. I'm not gonna do much this game. Just, kill me fast already.
Bristling Hydra coming down as well. Snutzel having a look at that one. A really resilient threat. Attacks and precious planeswalkers exceedingly well. Pay 3 energy, put a +1/+1 counter. It gains hexproof until end of turn. This card is the real deal in so many situations. Such a resilient threat here.
Yeah, Radiant Flames for 2 next turn is gonna put a nail on the coffin. That is freshly made. It's being
It's just being prepared.
Being crafted
by a bunch of artisanal chefs out in the Radiant Flames kitchen. And Snutzel, look at this. Matsumoto very clearly indicating his preference here. You can attack me, buddy. Get into it. Here we go. So the trigger on the Toolcraft Exemplar. And now Matsumoto has the opportunity to block. He can draw cards. He can make his Hydra huge. And Snutzel not holding too much here. He's got a hand that looks like a foot. And I tell you what, he's being punished for those mismatch basics. You can see an energy gain from the Aether Thief.
Yeah, he takes 6. He doesn't want to expose his creatures. Next turn, he can just sweep the board. So there's no reason to... like, this is not going to be much.
Oh, no.
Next turn. End of turn, draw a card.
Yeah. And then get us just a juicy 4-for-1 here. Matsumoto drawing another card here. The Shielded Aether Thief helping him do that. Aether Hub the draw now. And we've got 1, 2, 3 mana. And just as you mentioned, Raphael Levy.
Green, colorless, and red. Radiant Flames for 2.
Radiant Flames for 2.
I think that's the
Pack up those creatures. Oh, and Snutzel's going to play it out to the bitter end. Doesn't play out the rest of it. I can't see a way for him to get back into it at this stage. But who knows? We'll see. Snutzel now taking a whack from these 2 creatures here. The Hydra and the Virtuoso. And a follow-up play for Matsumoto.
Considering either...
Oh, man.
Oh, that was... could have been a mistrigger.
Very
that could
close.
Have been a mistrigger.
Very
here.
close. We're all sitting going, oh, no, but he...
Like, if Lewis was not in such a daring situation, I think could have said, oh, well, you cannot pass the turn one with no...
So Snutzel now with the Thraben Inspector. Matsumoto drawing more cards thanks to that Shielded Aether Thief, and we're really seeing him overtake this game here. Snutzel with 4 cards in hand, but Matsumoto with about the same amount and a billion cards in play as well. Harness Lightning to deal with any huge problems. And once again, the Virtuoso getting in with the Hydra. Snutzel taking the damage. He's down to 8. So Matsumoto's sitting pretty here. He's got a removal spell in hand. He's got draw steps for days here.
The Gear Hulk. Just in case, but he's nothing in the graveyard, so Gear Hulk is not going to do too much work. Oh, it's only a 5/6 flash.
Just a 5/6 flash.
5/6 flash.
And it's going to be Gideon here.
Okay.
Snutzel.
Whatevs. Sure.
Makes a 2/2. Matsumoto, you think unconcerned by this?
I'm pretty sure he's very unconcerned by this.
Harness Lightning.
6 energy. Draw a card.
Matsumoto considering his options. Doesn't choose to draw a card with the Shielded Aether Thief. He's got other plans for that energy. You can see another Harness Lightning in hand here. Just going to burn out that Thraben Inspector and give him the opportunity for a lethal attack thanks to that Bristling Hydra. So Matsumoto really powering through to a very comprehensive victory there. Snutzel not able to, develop his mana. He got stuck on lands, and we saw some pretty awkward draw from him. But all the same, I really like the way Matsumoto just threw out his cards, said, deal with this, and Snutzel didn't have the answers.
Well, he didn't have
anything.
Well, he couldn't just develop his game, so...
Yeah, he was playing with a ham sandwich for most of that game there as we move back to Lipinski versus Pinto, and you can see here just in time for a concession from Lipinski. Really looks like those Oaths and those Planeswalkers were able to take things out. This was from the point at which we left the game. We had Paolo Pinto with Oath of Chandra, Oath of Liliana, and 2 Planeswalkers in hand. So you'd have to think that's a commanding position. Looks like he was able to convert it to a win. So we cast our eyes over the feature match area here. You can see closest to you, we've got a match being recorded for your viewing pleasure at a later time. Time Walk Magic coming your way at the end of our live coverage of round number 10. And of course, we'll be streaming live here from Barcelona for the rest of the day. We're looking forward to your company, my friends, as we explore this standard format even further, cobble together a top 8 and finally crown a champion here in Spain. And, of course, it'll be us bringing you all the action live, Riley Knight, alongside Raphael Levy and Matej Zadelkai joining us at a later stage. Richard Hagan, Stephen Leeming, Rashad Miller, and, of course, Toby Henke supporting us from behind the scenes. So good to have your company, my friends. Thank you for choosing to join us today. Excellent to be to have you on board as once again we get underway. We get stuck in to this standard format. These players hitting their sideboards at the far end of that table, you can see they're trying to configure their decks as optimally as possible as we get into game number 3. Let's have a look at what they're working with. Raphael Levy. Here we've got Kazuma Matsumoto. He's got 2 Dispel, 1 Negate. Always a huge fan of those cards in the board. Radiant Flames, Release the Gremlins. 3 Whirl of Virtuosos in the board as well. Confiscation Coup as a 2 of 2 Bristling Hydra and 2 Tireless Trackers. Looks like he was sideboarding pretty heavily, Raph.
Yeah, I don't know if he keeps the towers against Mardu. Maybe on the play he wants to be the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how he sideboards.
Well,
that's just
we saw the Bristling Hydra, we saw the Whirl of Virtuoso come in and do a lot of work.
And the Radiant Flames.
And the Radiant Flames as
so
well, actually.
What is he taking out for this?
Well,
probably disallows. I don't think disallows is very good against Mardu. Maybe you keep 1 just to have something in your graveyard.
So we are going to have a sneak peek into the other match here on your screen. You can see Marcos Angelin against Miguel Castro. Mardu versus Sahili. We've seen this before. I'm sure we'll see it again. Aethersphere Harvester is going to come in.
You've
Castro
seen
under a lot of pressure.
Briefly, the Sahili token.
Oh.
The exclusive feature match token that you can't find in the... I don't think you can find it in the boosters.
And with the Rogue Refiner now, Castro up to 4 energy. He's on 2. He's digging desperately, trying to find a way out of this. But Angelin looks to be in a very commanding position for game number 1.
But he can still block the... He can block the Harvester another turn with a token.
That's true.
He's not actually that far from coming back in this game.
Virtuoso getting in for 1.
He's on 2, so he's vulnerable to a shock or a unlicensed disintegration.
Another Virtuoso here. Now Angelin. He's going to return a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Nothing else to do with his mana for that turn. Draws a card. Didn't get to see that one here. But can Castro hold on from this point, Raph?
Yeah, he can. As long as Marcus does not draw a... Oh, yeah, well.
An unlicensed disintegration. Wow. There we go.
He could.
He could have certainly. I mean, if the cards had fallen in his favour, but unfortunately for Castro there, Marcos Angelin takes it out in a very convincing fashion. You can see the 2 players at the end of the table there still getting ready to go. Let's have a look at what's in the sideboard of Lewis Schwartzel here. Schnutzel, I should say. Copy of Release the Gremlins, a 3rd Archangel Avacyn. We've got a few other things. Needle Spires, Fumigate, Authority of the Consuls as well as a nice answer to the Sahili combo. Chandra, Torture Defiance, Fragmentize as well, and what looks like Stasis Snare, although it could be Skins Snake. I have to say that Lewis Schnutzel's handwriting look a little bit like the Skin Snake could be coming in. Bit of a bowl of spaghetti type situation here with Lewis Schnutzel. Perhaps he's in a bit of a rush submitting this deck list, I'm not sure. In any case, he's got some options moving into these post-sideboarded games.
I think Avacyn is a pretty good card in the Teamer matchup.
Mm-hmm.
They only have a Harness Lightning to kill it, and sometimes you just sequence your spells to kill all the board and to dispatch the creatures, and then Avacyn just foils your plans really badly.
Yeah, she can be very resilient when put to use in the right way. Schnutzel now with a Toolcraft Exemplar kicking things off. Matsumoto, Lumbering Falls. So again, we're seeing 1-drop, 2-drop from Schnutzel here. It's a good start for him so far.
That's the wrong clue. He does not have a clue.
And he does not have a clue token. No,
there's 1 energy, but not
one energy, but not a clue token there. So obviously, token management not at its best in the feature match area right now.
Maybe they should fix it because, like, later in the game,
it is very important. So yeah,
it sacrifices the clue that doesn't work like this.
Yeah, so we should get that fixed up as before there's any kind of issues. That clue token, obviously, not a clue token at all. It's supposed to be 1 energy there for Lewis Schnatzel. And you can see Matsumoto, he knows what he's doing with the energy. He's getting it done. He's Ether Hub. Yeah, there we go. Got that fixed up. But that,
he still has
that clue token is not there. There's
there.
no clue token. The clue token is not on the battlefield, so just ignore that one there. Sweet viewer, gentle viewer. Away it goes. There we go. Got that all sorted out. It's funny how playing on autopilot can sometimes just get these weird situations there like that.
And token management is actually pretty important. Like when you don't actually have the tokens, I actually lost a game at a GP because I didn't actually have the right card.
Oh, yeah?
And I had too many different tokens on the board.
Yeah.
And I just got confused and sent the wrong one and lost.
Yeah, it can be very difficult here. That's why we always try to have the right tokens on the battlefield in the feature match area. Makes things a little bit easier. Thraven Inspector comes down. Oh, and look at this. Nice one again for Matsumoto. Really, really big fan of this Shielded Ether Thief here. It blocks, draws cards, gains energy. And it's really good against the array of 2 and 3 power creatures that are he's being wailed on with from Mardu.
So now Lewis is facing a pretty big dilemma here. Does he play the second Inspector? Or does he just keep his mana open to draw? But if he draws, then he won't have the mana to... then he only has 1 artifact next turn to attack with the Exemplar.
I'm sure Radiant Flames isn't too far away from his mind here.
Yeah.
As Lewis Schnatzel considers what he's going to do. 3 cards in hand for him. Matsumoto, attune with Ether, snags a Mountain. So 3 copies of the Shielded Ether Thief. We've seen it go from sort of 1 to 2 and now up to 3. With such aggressive decks running rampant over Standard at the moment, I think a 0-4 blocker is in a good spot, especially when it melds so well with your game plan. Schnatzel going to crack that clue here. After Matsumoto ships. Disallow still in his deck after sideboarding.
Yeah, I mentioned that I think you keep at least 1.
Okay.
If you don't want too many, because especially on the draw, you really don't want to be like doing nothing on turn 3. But I don't think you want more than 1.
So, Matsumoto now at the beginning of combat step for Lewis Schnatzel. Matsumoto looks like he might deploy this Harness Lightning. And it is going to be Harness Lightning on the Toolcraft Exemplar. Costing him just 1 energy there to take care of the Dwarf before the trigger resolved. And here's a block, again, gaining another energy. So Matsumoto's in a good spot here when it comes to his energy reserves. I noticed no lands in hand for him, apart from the pseudo-land of Attune with Ether. Oath of Chandra is going to finish off that Shielded Ether Thief, but not before it draws a card. So a nice bit of value there, Raf.
I'm not sure of the sequence here. Like, he only has 1 source of red mana. So he could have just killed the Ether
Thief.
The Ether Thief. Ether Thief before he blocks, because now he doesn't have ways to actually cast the Unlicensed Disintegration. Also, that would have... No, he doesn't have a red mana now.
That's true, but...
and
Attune with Ether coming down to gain Matsumoto some more energy.
And
the Oath of Chandra only doing 3 damage means that the Ether Thief doesn't die to it in a vacuum.
No, I know, but then, like, instead of waiting to play the Oath, when he played the Harness Lightning, he could have just killed the Thief.
Yeah.
The Thief before blocks, and that would have been 3 more damages as well. 3 more damage from the attack and 3 more damage from the Disintegration. Instead, he decided to play the Oath after, and now he's left without open red mana.
I see.
But he drew the red source, but he didn't have it, so he would have been stuck with the Disintegration.
So you're saying hold off on the Oath of Chandra and play the Disintegration instead.
And he doesn't have Planeswalker.
Ether Thief number 2 now.
He doesn't have energy. He doesn't have energy. Wait, I don't think he has energy to cast it, so we might have to stop the
Actually,
game.
we need to stop that because, he didn't have any energy left over from that there. So he had 1 energy from the Ether Hub, and he wasn't able to generate any further energy there. So we're going
to cast Unlicensed Disintegration.
Didn't have anything left to cast the Unlicensed Disintegration. That his red land came into play tapped there, already, so it wasn't there. It wasn't there at the beginning of his turn, untapped, able to cast that disintegration. So pick up on that. Make sure that is all resolved correctly, and the judges are going to take care of that.
Yeah, that was the issue the last turn.
Yeah,
that's why I said Oath of Chandra might have been played at the wrong time, and now he's left without energy, no red mana.
So there was he used one energy on the Oath of Chandra, which was generated from the Ether Hub when it came into play, and then he had no further further energy to generate red mana from the Ether Hub. I think that
so nothing happened since then.
No,
that was end of turn. He played the.
Well, Matsumoto's drawn a card.
Yeah, but nothing too bad happened to rewind, so that's why he's just going to take it back.
As far as I'm aware, Matsumoto drew a card from the Ether Thief. I saw him take it off the top of his deck, which I suppose he was going to do anyway. Yeah, okay. So Matsumoto plays a land and ships. And it's back to Schnutzel here. And we're going to see an all-out attack, and once again the Ether Thief's going to get the opportunity to block. Ooh. Dropping that D12 like a barbarian here, Matsumoto.
That opens up a window for Kazuma to come back in this game. Because he's not dead yet, and he's not facing too much aggression, actually.
No, he's on 6, but only being poked at by these little squires here. The Thraben Inspector's getting in for 1 and 2 points of damage. We're going to see Matsumoto draw another card.
I think he needs a negate here to be able to do everything he wants.
Well, it's a Will of Virtuoso instead. Disallow still in the hand for Matsumoto. He didn't play any spells that turn.
That's very important. And then tapped land. So you 3 and 3, 3-4 disallow, and 3-4 virtuoso.
Yeah, that's going to come up the ground very nicely here.
Yeah, that works.
And the air, to be fair.
He needs to keep the disallow for the disintegration, since he knows Lewis has it.
Yeah, that's a very useful little piece of information gathered here.
He needs to counter that one.
Yeah,
he can't play around Gideon here.
So the disallow is going to get rid of that disintegration.
And now Lewis is in a tough spot. If it doesn't, oh, never mind. If he doesn't join then tap land, I was gonna say, and to cast his Avacyn. Avacyn's gonna be actually he's gonna meet now Harness Lightning, so it's not actually gonna be too good.
Torch of Defiance comes down.
Well, still no red. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now we can pay
1.
Pay an extra life here to gain the red mana necessary.
Tapping the Concealed Courtyard instead of the plains. Not to represent a fatal push.
Yeah, yep. Just wants to make sure that's ruled out here.
Yeah.
So Chandra comes down on 4 loyalty. This new Planeswalker has begun to experience a bit of a surge in popularity. I think it's fair to say, Raph. She hadn't made much of an impact when first joining the fray, but in recent weeks we've seen Chandra up and down the tables.
So now Chandra is it's actually going to do a lot of work. It's going to just ping for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Ping for 2 plus the Oath. That's 4 damage.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Kazuma to 2.
Of course, Chandra triggering her own Oath here. Good for an extra 2 points of damage for Matsumoto.
And then Matsumoto would have to counter pretty much every Planeswalker till the end of the game.
Yeah. So, upstairs, what have we got? It's a Scrap Heap Scrounger.
Take 2.
Yep. So it stays exiled now after not being played. Matsumoto down to 4. Let's see if Schnutzel remembers the trigger from the Oath of Chandra.
So making dudes.
I don't think he's remembered the trigger from Oath of Chandra.
Yeah.
I think he's missed it.
Well, he can still do it.
I think if he's shipped. He's shipped to the end step. Or is this attacking?
That's the end step. No. No.
No, he missed it.
Oh.
That's inexcusable. You can't do that. You can't do that and expect to win games of Magic.
That's just like too many mistakes.
This is just he's handing it perhaps not on a silver platter at this stage, but definitely one made of pewter, as now we have Kazuma Matsumoto with a a new chance, a new lease on life to try to turn the corner here. He's still under pressure.
He has the Gearhawk to disallow. That's what I was talking about when I said keep at least one disallow, just to have this option open.
Yeah, well,
you don't want too many, because too many disallows does not beat an exemplar Scrounger draw.
The Thopter's going to come in at Chandra here for 2. She goes down to 3 loyalty. And Matsumoto with a lot of counter magic in his 75 between negates, disallows horribly arise, and also dispel in the sideboard. So 11 or 12 pieces of counter magic.
This is pretty tough because, like, how is he going to kill this Chandra? There's an option where he Gearhawks to disallow the Chandra effect and gain 2 life. But that's also pretty... That's not great. Let's just say that. Oh, that was... I like that move. Taking the graveyard and put it in one pile.
With a disallow on top?
No, just to hide the rest.
Yeah, right.
Like saying, yeah, well...
Just from the casual observer.
I probably don't have it.
Well, now he's splaying them out a little bit. Not sure if that was a tactical or just strategic or just perhaps a nervous move.
I like that. I like the piling the graveyard just to make the opponent forget about the Gearhawk. Doesn't work all the time, but...
Well, Matsumoto now.
Now it's pretty
obvious. Fiddling around with his... yeah. Yeah. You draw Snapcaster Mage and immediately check your graveyard. And we're seeing here, look, this line is being considered by Matsumoto here. Snutzel puts a loyalty counter on Chandra Torture Defiance. That's the cost, so that can't be changed. Nothing can do about that. Putting a loyalty counter is actually the cost of activating the ability. But the ability can be responded to, and it can be cancelled by this disallow.
He needs to...
No.
He needs to stay away from like 2 life. 2 life now is like, okay, I'm dead to Disintegration. I'm dead to a lot of stuff.
Everson's still in the hand of Snutzel here.
So now he's probably going to play the Gearhulk on the Harness Lightning, kill one of the Inspectors, and attack Chandra to kill it. And then keep Gearhulk up to counter something.
Now, we don't need to harp on this for too much longer, Raphael Levy, but it's worth noting that Matsumoto is on 2, and Snutzel missed 2 points of damage last turn. I mean, that would have changed the nature of the game in terms of that Gearhulk would have had to come down on the disallow.
Ever happening? Of the rest of this game ever happening? So I think... Oh, is there a Harness Lightning in the graveyard? I think there is.
Yeah, Matsumoto has a Harness Lightning in the graveyard.
I think Gearhulk on a 1/2 to attack, and then he gets a token from the... I think he needs the 5/6. He doesn't need to do...
Looks like Gearhulk's being brought to the front of Matsumoto's hand here.
Like he's never gonna have time to cast 2 of them. He needs to put pressure right now.
Well, it looks like it's just going to be Harness Lightning from the hand here, based on the rather hesitant fashion in which Matsumoto is playing this.
And Lewis does not have a...
He's signaling the Gearhulk very clearly.
Has it.
I know. We know he has it, but now I'm sure Schnutzel also knows he has it.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Everyone knows.
These guys in the PTQ know he has it.
People playing in the PTQ go whispering around the tables. Here, consider Matsumoto.
I think
he's got a Gearhulk in hand. That's right. Front page of the Herald Sun tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You can watch it. You can see everyone will know around the world.
Yeah, and kill a 1/2. And then he has 1 extra energy. Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so the Gearhulk heard round the world finally enters the fray, and here comes the Harness Lightning.
I think his concern was, do I play around a Disintegration? Do I show that I have a counter? Do I represent a counter magic? Oh yeah. Oh.
And here is Schnutzel using this opportunity to resolve an Avacyn.
Oh, that's probably what he had in mind as well. Well, Avacyn is not. Oh no.
What have you spotted?
He missed the energy trigger. Because Avacyn saved the Thraben.
Well, he can't miss the energy trigger. He can't.
No, he can use 3 energy to try to kill.
No, but he can't miss. Hang on.
No, it's fine.
But he can't miss the adding the energy thanks to the. It's part of the resolution of the spell.
Yeah, but like he just used it.
Yeah.
He had 5 and then 3. and then he used 3 to try to kill the Thraben. That's how you can represent it.
Yeah.
So he was from 2 to 5, then back to 2.
So he used 3 energy.
He used 3
to try to kill the 1/2.
To try to kill a 1/2 indestructible.
Okay. All right.
So that's how you can actually say that. But yeah, he could have had 5 energy in his.
Because he didn't have to then spend. He could have spent 0 energy.
He could have spent 0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's not that he missed it, but yeah. All right.
He kind of missed it.
Kind of missed it. Okay. Avison goes away there. So Matsumoto also with a little brain fart of his own here.
Oh yeah, but now he's gonna die to Chandra.
2 more mana.
Because that extra energy would have made an extra token to attack Chandra. That would have been enough to. It would probably been enough.
So 3
So yeah, that's enough to kill Chandra.
energy spent on 3 energy spent on killing the Thraben Inspector there, unless I'm mistaken.
Why is he blocking?
Okay.
He just blocked a Gearhulk for.
Blocks the Gearhulk. I mean, assuming they're all sent at Chandra.
They were all sent. They had to be sent at Chandra.
To remove her. Yeah, this
Oh,
game
wow.
is getting very confusing at some points. Do apologise for this. There's a random
Oh,
D6
man.
laying around for no reason in the battlefield as well. So certainly a lot of work left for us to do to pick this apart here. As we see now a Fragmentize on a Thopter.
token, yeah.
Fragmentize a card once again. It's found
So
its way into Vintage.
now I think it's Game Kazuma here. Oh, well, unless Lewis draws right now a way to.
No, he's just drawn a disallow. Matsumoto
disallow,
has a
yeah,
disallow here, so the door continues to close here on
No.
Schnutzel because an unlicensed disintegration or similar would have done a lot of work here, but
He
now it
needed
seems to be
a
too
way
late.
to destroy the Heart of Kirin and be able to counter
Oh, and
something.
he's got a negate in hand as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he had it.
Looks like Matsumoto's really in a very commanding position here, despite a few little blips and bloops beforehand. This game seems to be heading towards an end. There is a clue token there from the earlier Thraben Inspector. Schnutzel picks up another card. Again, that D4 is not serving any purpose. It's a leftover, a remnant from the Chandra.
So 11 life. 11 life is not enough. 11 life is so it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus the land.
Ships the turn. Back to Matsumoto.
Yeah, I think it's.
Bristling Hydra the draw here.
Is it enough?
Matsumoto with
He's probably
counter spells for days.
He's probably not going to attack for the win here.
No, I don't think you activate the.
Because that's a little.
I don't think you activate the Lumbering Falls
Yeah.
there. Another attack from Matsumoto here.
With a
Schnutzel
negate and.
and a disallow backing it up. Oh, and look at that. Schnutzel on double lands here. He's holding absolutely nothing. Draws, finds a Toolcraft Exemplar. His 9-0 record about to be scattered to the wind here.
That was very dangerous what he did. Oh no! Oh, he can disallow it.
And he can disallow
never mind,
his Needle Spires.
Never mind. Yeah, I didn't see that line.
Well, of course, we've got a Gearhulk now. In any case, an extension of the hand from Schnutzel. Matsumoto had it all tied up there. So after a few stumbles from both players, you can see the very relieved face of Kazuma Matsumoto, who has managed to preserve his X and O record. Schnutzel still looking good to make a run at the top 8. Unfortunately for him, his unblemished streak comes to an end in the first hurdle of day number 2. We're quickly switching back over to our other table. We got a quick look at these guys. All tied up now, Marcus Angelin and Miguel Castro at 1-1 here. Mardu Ballista facing off against the 4-colour copycat deck, the Sahili deck, with a shock, removing that Servant of the Conduit. And across now comes the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Castro continues to develop with his... what did you say it was? Uktapi Orangutan?
Manic Vandal. Or Uktabi Orangutan, yeah.
Sahili array the draw now for Miguel Castro.
And stumbling on lands, Mardu is probably going to have a very hard time in this game.
Castro leaves one on top with Sahili as well and then gets in for 2.
Oh, no fourth land. All right, so we have a battle.
We have a battle.
Oh, he gets...
And here's land number 3, and it's a good one too. And Thalia. All right. And look at that. That's a huge turn here for Angelin. It's completely turning the tables now. Thalia, a big thorn in the side of many decks throughout Standard. This lady's done a lot of work in all of her forms as the Guardian of Thraben and now as the Heretic Cathar.
And now all the lands, most of the lands are coming to play tapped.
Ether Hub there, as you can see, doing exactly that thanks to Thalia.
But no red on the left side of the table.
No, that Ether Hub unable to be powered up by any energy from Angelin. And Thalia going to step out of her shampoo commercial long enough to come and give Miguel Castro a bit of a pasting here.
Yeah, she has pretty hair. She has very long hair.
Maybe she's born with it. Actually, I don't think Maybelline make shampoo shower products, actually. I think it's just makeup. I don't know. Not particularly well informed when it comes to that. Harness Lightning, in any case, is going to end the nascent television career of Thalia Heretic Cathar. And it's Walking Ballista, in addition to a Thraben Inspector. So Angelin's still with no further mana here, no more lands, but he's still able to put stuff on the board. Back to Castro now. See a Tamio.
I'm going to see, Virtuoso.
It's going to be the Virtuoso. 3 more energy for Castro here. And Angelin now. Is that a 4th land for him there, Raf?
I haven't seen that. Is it?
It was. Shambling Vents.
Vent. No red. Oh, here it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Inspiring Vantage comes down, as does a Thopter for Castro. Rogue Refiner at the draw for Castro.
Looking for the 5th land to cast the ship.
Sky Sovereign in hand for Castro, is it?
Yep.
That's a big game against a deck full of cards like Fatal Push and... well, I mean, I guess Unlicensed Disintegration can be a nice answer to it at times. Tamio now.
Tamio, the...
Field Researcher.
Field Researcher, yeah.
And we see these 2 creatures here. Ophidianized. And Castro's going to draw some cards. Angelin takes the damage, so these creatures get across uncontested, and Miguel Castro, look at that little build your own divination. That gremlin sitting back to defend Tamio.
How about blocking the Virtuoso and killing the Thopter?
Hasn't happened here.
Yeah, that could have been an option. Like, he would have denied the 2 draws from Miguel and taken no damage. Because now I don't think the Walking Ballista would have done anything better.
Angelin now with his untapped Inspiring Vantage. And just very quickly, obviously worth pointing out that Tamio's +1 ability means that whenever they deal combat damage to anything...
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
If they'd been blocked?
Yeah. If he blocks the Virtuoso with the Walking Ballista...
and then pings at us, certainly.
So he wouldn't have drawn 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Walking Ballista is going to do a better job than this.
Thalia. Obviously more hair products need to be sold here as the Heretic Cathar comes down. Going to crew up this Heart of Kiran. And now 4/4 Flying Vigilance is online. In it comes. Straight at Tamio. Castro with little other option here. I mean, a Thopter could have got in the way there.
Yeah.
And Tamio's going to be finished off by that Walking Ballista. Having said that, it did do a lot of work there. Gained some life, drew some cards.
So Ballista could have done the exact same thing by just blocking the Virtuoso. Blocking the Virtuoso, ping Tamio for 1. And just deny one draw.
1 card, yeah.
Yeah.
See what you mean there. So an attack now from Castro, as we see all of these creatures sent in there.
And then...
Here's the Sky Sovereign.
That's the love boat.
Oh, is it? Okay. I was wondering what you were going for there. Thank you for explaining that. I'm sure viewers around the world very pleased to have that elucidated for them. So Sky Sovereign comes down. and finishes off Thalia.
You know what it says when you crew it? You know what you have to say?
What do you have to say?
Come aboard. We were expecting you.
I don't know. I don't know what planet you live on, mate. I don't know what planet you live on. Your own little personal pocket dimension, I think. Castro. He's got a nice full grip. Both players do, in fairness. It's back to him, and look at this. We're going to turns.
Turn 1, yeah.
Turn number 1
I don't think it's going to be a draw.
Well, Castro should be able to find a way to win this.
Another boat.
It's another love boat.
Yeah. That's a lot of stuff. Tamiyo, like he really cashed the Tamiyo to.
It was a really effective roadblock.
Yeah.
Gained a bunch of life, disrupted the plan that Angelin was trying to execute.
Gain 5 life, draw 2 cards.
For 4 mana.
4 mana, yeah. Kill a walking ballista.
Yeah. Yeah, Tamiyo did a lot of work there. And Castro now thinking about his next move. It's going to be a Rogue Refiner. Angelin with an answer to that in shock.
Yep. The Rogue Refiner is going to crew the boat.
Yep.
Sky Sovereign.
That's right. Captain Rogue Refiner from the flight deck. And in it comes. Here's another 3 damage. Looks like it's being pointed at the Thraben Inspector. Was that correct?
Yep. He can actually,
we can see Avacyn to save it. Okay.
So there's a Harness Lightning. It's probably going to kill the... Oh. It's going to kill Avacyn, but in the meantime, the Heart of Kirin is going to be indestructible.
So an indestructible flying 4/4 vigilance regardless of which way you slice it. So the Harness Lightning is going to be killed in response to the trigger from Avacyn.
Yep.
So the Harness Lightning is going to be used to kill the Avacyn, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So the Inspector is going to survive the blasters from the Sky Sovereign. I don't know what it shoots with, but...
Probably blasters.
Blasters, yeah.
Ether blasters. Ether cannons. Ether flux cannons.
Probably. So
that Heart of Kirin has been crewed.
It's probably going to block the Sky Sovereign. Otherwise, he's dead, so...
So the Sky Sovereign is 6/5, of course. 6/5 flyer.
Yeah. So...
And there's the block. Both of these creatures indestructible, don't forget.
So 3 damage.
Angelin takes 3, down to 4. He's in a tricky spot. What's a card that can get him out of this place here? What's a release that Gremlin's looking like?
Fumigate.
Another Avacyn in the draw here for Angelin.
No, that doesn't help. Yeah, Fumigate was the card, but I don't... Yeah, you could actually bring in Fumigate against Sahili. Actually like Fumigate in that matchup.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Mardu, but as a one-off, that could be...
Could be spicy.
Yeah.
So turn 3 begins. Miguel Castro now, overwhelmingly dominant position on the battlefield here.
He can play a Sahili, copy Rogue Refiner to help crew the ship.
Draw another card, get some more energy, and of course crew the Sky Sovereign. I mean, even...
He still has another turn, so...
Well, even just getting... Hang on. 1 point of damage to Marcus Angelin is enough then for Sahili to come down and copy the Sky Ship.
No,
the
but
Sky Sovereign.
Sky Ship does not ping players.
It doesn't?
No, it does not.
Planeswalkers or creatures only, I see. So that wouldn't be quite enough. Another Whirl of Virtuoso now. 3 more energy.
Oh, he's going to make a dude to... Or maybe he's just keeping the Sahili for the 1 damage.
Yeah, that's also another very relevant thing. Get 3 if you can get 3 through in this combat.
And he has another attack right after, so...
Yeah. So 3 damage is going to be pointed here at this Thraben Inspector. And the rest of the creatures all coming across, and Marcus Angelin were left with very little else to do other than extend his hand.
Miguel Castro moves to 10-0.
10-0 with 4-color copycats. So here, rather interestingly, Raphael Levy, we have seen the 2 Mardu decks at 9-0. There were 3 of them in total, and 2 of them have gone down.
The Mardu has fallen.
Mardu has fallen. At least to the X and 1 bracket. We'll see how fortune favours these players as they continue. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you to do one thing, and that's stick with us, because round number 10 is coming your way. I'll be in the booth here with Matej Zadelkai. Looking forward to your company as well. Rafael Levy taking a bit of a breather here. But my friends, thanks for joining us here for round number 10 at GP Barcelona. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with round number 11 before you know it. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Don't go anywhere.